I probably made some mistakes. Yeah, I did some mistakes in not choosing, but taking movies that I shouldn't have taken.
The world is captivated by the Latin sensation who began as a humble youngster from Malaga, Spain, who aspired to play football. Antonio Banderas became a global star with iconic parts like Zorro after overcoming injuries, arrests, and his early days in Hollywood, when he didn't know any English at all. In addition to his Hollywood success, this dashing guy is well known for his impeccable personal life and outstanding parenting. However, there is a long and winding road behind all the glitz and glamour, beginning over in Hollywood, overcoming love disappointments, and dealing with the demands of celebrity. How did Antonio Banderas become a symbol of hope for people all around the world, while facing apparently insurmountable obstacles? Unveiling surprises await him on his trip, which is a story of passion and perseverance. Come explore the remarkable life of Antonio Banderas with us as we reveal the inspiring narrative and hidden facts in this video. Anticipation is high. Into a humble working-class family, Antonio Banderas came on August 10, 1960, in Malaga, Spain. His mom taught elementary school, while his dad was a civil guard police officer. Antonio's aspirations of becoming a professional football player were fueled by his unquenchable enthusiasm for the game and his extraordinary skill from a young age. However, his world came tumbling down when he was 14 years old, when a life-altering accident rendered him permanently inactive. Antonio sought for a new calling in the theater to fill the emptiness left by his dashed ambition. Going to see Hair, a daring and exciting musical with strong messages of individual liberty, harmony, and love in the midst of a tumultuous time, was the defining moment. He had never before seen the profound impact of the performing arts, the stage's capacity to communicate bold ideas and evoke profound emotions in viewers. The arts enchanted Antonio with their dynamic performances, melodies, and powerful narratives. Despite Franco's regime's heavy censorship of art, Antonio remained resolute in his pursuit of theater. He was regularly in difficulties with the law because of the plays he presented, which dealt with liberation and revolt. His time in police detention spanned many nights. Antonio nevertheless took heart from his setbacks and continued to fight for what he wanted. He found spiritual liberation and a way to reimagine his identity on stage. It was more than simply a performance venue for him. Leaving Malaga for better prospects was a daring move Antonio Banderas took when he was 19 years old. He joined Madrid's Spanish National Theater, where his exceptional skill and unwavering commitment immediately made him stand out. Pedro Almodovar, a controversial and imaginative director from Spain, saw him while he was performing at the theater. The new wave of Spanish film that emerged following Franco's rule was ushered in by Almodovar, who was a pioneer in it. Sexuality, women's rights, and individual autonomy were frequently forbidden subjects in his films, but he never shied away from tackling them. The unabashed and risk-taking Almodovar was lauded and slammed for his fantastical storytelling, vivid colors, and bizarre style. Antonio Banderas was able to reach his greatest potential under his direction because of the novel artistic vision he had. Labyrinth of Passion, a daring and bizarre sex comedy directed by Pedro Almodovar and released in 1982, was Banderas's cinematic debut. The two embarked on a successful partnership with this job. During the 80s, Banderas was well known for his portrayal of a gay man in the revolutionary film Law of Desire, 1987, which included the first male-on-male kiss in Spanish cinema. This was a risky and difficult choice for a young actor like Banderas to make, but he paid the price for his audacity and the character became legendary. Acclaimed films like Matador, 1986, and Women on the Verge of a Nervous Breakdown, 1988, were among Banderas's ongoing collaborations with Almodovar. The New York Times' Vincent Canby lauded Banderas for his earnest and assured performance in Matador. Notably, the Washington Post praised Banderas's welcoming performance in Women on the Verge of a Nervous Breakdown, calling the film a gorgeous joy. In 1989's Tie Me Up, Tie Me Down, Banderas portrayed the role of a madman who abducts a porn actress in an effort to get her to love him again. This was the zenith of his collaboration with Almodovar. Not only did he break into Hollywood with this part, but it also demonstrated his acting range. The Mambo Kings was Banderas' first feature picture on a global scale, released in 1992. For his performance, he had to memorize his lines phonetically, as he didn't know any English. His emotionally intense performance, which spanned a continent and a language barrier, launched a brilliant career in Hollywood. Antonio Banderas' work with Pedro Almodovar laid the groundwork for his career and made him an icon of Spanish film, allowing him to win over fans throughout the world. Even though Antonio Banderas had a rocky start to his Hollywood career, he swiftly established himself as an icon on a global scale with a string of outstanding parts. He became famous in 1993 for his part as the AIDS lawyer's boyfriend in Philadelphia, starring Tom Hanks. In addition to being a watershed moment in American filmmaking, the film demonstrated Banderas' talent at playing multifaceted characters. After that, he co-starred with Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt in 1994's Interview with the Vampire, where he maintained his stellar performance. But his breakout performance as Madonna's emotionally charged narrator Che in 1996's Evita was the real game-changer. Banderas was able to connect with an international audience and get critical acclaim for his performance. In 1998, with his legendary performance as Zorro in The Mask of Zorro, Banderas reached the zenith of his career. Banderas brought the iconic hero to a new generation by combining charisma, power, and superb swordsmanship. Zorro had previously been played by José Suárez and Carlos Kini, two other Spanish actors. However, for modern audiences, the character was unmistakably Zorro because of the charm and fire that Banderas brought to the part. He spent months training for the part, taking fencing lessons from the Spanish Olympic squad and becoming an expert horseback rider. Crazy in Alabama, which starred Melanie Griffith, who was Banderas' wife at the time, was his directorial debut in 1999. Critical acclaim for the film confirmed Banderas' versatility. His artistic vision and unfaltering enthusiasm for cinema were on full display in his forays into film production with projects like Elmira, in addition to his playing and directing roles. The acclaim and accolades that Banderas got were a reflection of his hard work and commitment to the arts. He was named Best Actor at the Cannes Film Festival and was nominated for many Golden Globes, Emmys, and Tonys. Banderas was famous for more than just his talent. His charisma was contagious. Empire magazine ranked him 24th among the 100 sexiest actors of all time in 1995. He made it onto Individuals magazine's list of the world's 50 most handsome individuals a year down the road. Not only did he look stunning, but he exuded an irresistible charm and an air of refined elegance in all his media appearances and beyond. Antonio Banderas has had his fair share of highs and lows in his personal life, as have the lives of many Hollywood stars. He wed actress and English teacher Anna Lan before she became famous across the world. Friends and family of the happy couple, including filmmaker Pedro Almodovar and actress Carmen Maura, were present for the 1987 wedding ceremony in Madrid's San Nicolas Church. In addition to providing a foundation for Antonio's early career in Hollywood, their marriage was a passionate one. When Antonio was just starting out in Hollywood, his wife Anna Lan was more than just a wife. She was a mentor who helped him overcome his language barriers and succeed at auditions. In addition to guiding him through cultural and linguistic adaptation, she translated dialogues, helped him with scripts, and served as a language coach to make sure Antonio could put feeling into every line. His steady ascent in Hollywood was set in motion by her subtle but substantial efforts. Unfortunately, they divorced. Their contentious 1996 divorce was allegedly prompted by Antonio's increasing involvement with American actress Melanie Griffith. In addition to a $3 million settlement, Antonio also lost out on profits from films they filmed together while they were married. Because Anna had been such a pillar in Antonio's early career, and the two had a reputation as a solid pair, their breakup caused quite a commotion. Even though Antonio and Melanie were married and spent nearly 20 years together, their early years together brought up concerns about commitment and the costs of fame. Does achieving love and prosperity always require tough decisions? We still don't know. Antonio Banderas and Melanie Griffith's love story is a prime illustration of a predetermined path. At the 1989 Academy Awards, Antonio was captivated by Melanie as she entered the stage in a cream-colored gown embellished with pearls. In his mind, he saw the woman he had always dreamed of meeting. Too Much, 1995, was their collaborative effort 6 years later. After first dismissing his emotions as an acting quirk, Antonio eventually came to terms with the fact that he had fallen deeply in love with her. Antonio and Melanie had to make tough choices as their love progressed. Both Antonio and Melanie Johnson's marriages ended in divorce in May 1996. Antonio's was with Anna Lan for over 10 years, while Melanie had a daughter named Dakota with Don Johnson. Melanie was 5 months along in her pregnancy when she and Antonio tied the knot. In September of that year, they welcomed their daughter Stella into the world, beginning a new and exciting chapter in their lives as creative partners. Crazy in Alabama, 1999, was a family affair because it was directed by Antonio, starred Melanie, and included cameo appearances from Stella and Dakota. Antonio and Melanie were able to keep their Spanish family life in the forefront of their hectic Hollywood careers in their early years as a couple. They found refuge in their beachfront Marbella house, away from the hectic pace of the entertainment industry. There they could relax and enjoy the simple things in life. Family dinners on the patio, listening to the waves lapping at the shore, and carefree summer days spent laughing and playing. When asked to characterize their house, Antonio frequently used the analogy of the beating heart of the family, the place where they could escape the glitz and glamour of Hollywood and just be themselves. But they had a lot of problems in their marriage. Melanie Griffith's already troubled history with alcohol was further exacerbated in 2000 after a knee injury made her dependent on medicines. Both her health and their relationship were negatively impacted by her addiction. Throughout her ordeal, her faithful husband Antonio was there for her, helping her heal and giving her the strength to persevere. Still, he was honest about the fact that he was about to snap and would have walked out if Melanie hadn't tried to adjust. The pair overcame obstacles by maintaining a strong artistic and personal bond. After receiving the Stella Adler Angel Award in 2002 for their humanitarian work, they both had their Broadway debuts the following year. Antonio shone in 9, and Melanie was lauded for her portrayal of Roxy Hart in Chicago. They were able to strike a balance between their work and family lives, and it showed in all their accomplishments. Antonio and Melanie were a happy family and famous Hollywood actors for 18 years. Their Spanish house became a haven for relaxation, family gatherings, and treasured memories. Their marriage had its share of problems despite their status as one of Hollywood's power couples. Although Antonio's rumored affair with a young model was never verified, it sparked a media frenzy and devastated Melanie. The underlying reason for their breakup, according to Melanie, was long-term stress and a feeling of being shackled by the marriage, which she discussed in an interview following their divorce. She felt trapped and unhappy in the relationship due to years of built-up pressure. On top of that, Melanie's physicians mostly blamed long-term stress for her epilepsy diagnosis in 2011. Irreconcilable conflicts were cited in their 2014 divorce announcement. Unexpectedly, Melanie's health and sense of balance were both greatly improved by the separation, which served as a catalyst for her recovery process. A cordial and mutually respected connection persisted between Antonio and Melanie even after they parted ways. Antonio stressed again and time again that Dakota and Melanie and their children will always be his family. His heartfelt words were, "I will love her until the end of my life. Melanie is my best friend." Melanie Griffith maintained her image of bravery and resilience during their split. Posting an Instagram selfie of herself in pink lingerie in 2020 at the age of 63, she gained hundreds of likes and comments, proving that confidence has no bounds. She kept her young look and physique by consistently doing yoga, eating well, and keeping a cheerful outlook. Melanie immortalized her love for Antonio Banderas with a tattoo of his name within a heart on her right arm during their blissful years together. Not out of remorse or animosity, but to mark the end of a significant chapter and begin a new chapter in her life, she chose to have the tattoo removed in 2015, following their divorce. Even though Antonio's personal connections were not always smooth sailing, his second marriage and stepfather role have been significant in shaping his legacy. Antonio became very attached to Dakota and her brother Alexander, even though he was not their biological father. The three of them had a strong and loving relationship. The uncertainty that Dakota and Alexander had as children bouncing between their parents' homes was alleviated the minute Antonio became a part of their lives. Their lives were completely changed by Antonio's love and devotion. Antonio became like a second father to Dakota, who had a rough upbringing characterized by bullying and boarding school. She adored him and referred to him as Poppy Dad. She considered him her second father figure. Their father-child relationship was undisturbed by the dissolution of Antonio's marriage to Melanie in 2015, according to both parties, and their link persisted thereafter. Dakota gave him the moniker Ponyo, a combination of Papa and Antonio, and it has come to represent their mixed family's achievements. When Antonio won the Hollywood Award for Best Actor in Pain and Glory, their bond was on full display. Dakota Johnson thanked Antonio, whom she said had a life-altering impact on her, in a moving speech in which she cried. Giving the medal to Dakota and Stella, Antonio said, "You have no idea how much I love you." Biological connections are not the only ones that may foster love and connection, as Antonio has frequently stressed. If you want greater love and purpose in your life, he says, open your heart and let other people in. Love, sharing, and commitment, not blood but a unique relationship, are what truly constitute family, and the one between Antonio and Dakota is proof of that. Antonio Banderas encountered major health issues as he started to age. He began his journey through health trials in 2009, when he had surgery to remove a small tumor from his back. But his heart attack on January 26, 2017, was the most formative experience of his life. Even though Banderas stressed that the heart attack was minor and did not leave any permanent damage, he nevertheless had to have 3 stents placed in his coronary artery during surgery. Both in a 2017 speech at the Malaga Film Festival and in an interview with Fresh Air in 2019, Antonio characterized this occurrence as a watershed moment in his life. "It was one of the best things that ever happened to me," stated the man. His brush with mortality refocused his priorities in life, drawing him closer to his loved ones, his work, and the question of why we're here. After testing positive for COVID-19 in 2020, Antonio encountered yet another health issue. Even though he had to spend time alone and go through recovery, he had a positive outlook, seeing it as a chance to learn about himself and the values in his life. Antonio Banderas has gone from being a struggling actor attempting to make it big in Hollywood to being a superstar all over the world. His impact is seen in many different arenas. His position as a loving father was crucial in guiding Dakota Johnson through her difficult childhood so that she could succeed as an actor on her own. But he was an influence to many more than just his own family. By taking his dream to the global stage, Antonio helped lay the groundwork for a flourishing arts culture in his own country. Antonio founded the Teatro del Soho in Malaga to provide a stage for aspiring performers and to provide a one-of-a-kind environment for the creative development of individuals. This theater is more than simply a space. It is a link between the past and the present, between the world and Spain. Antonio has proven his business energy outside the realm of the arts. Among his many successful endeavors is the Antonio Banderas Winery, which hosts thousands of tourists every year and is known for its high-quality wines. In addition to his achievements in the fragrance, fashion, and restaurant industries in Spain, Antonio has established a personal brand that is associated with grace, refinement, and indefatigable imagination, characteristics that have characterized his career on a global scale. One cannot help but notice Antonio Banderas as a representation of Spanish culture. Strong, passionate, and bursting with life, he always reflects the essence of his hometown in his memorable roles and humanitarian activities. His indefatigable work has marked him as a major player in Spanish art and culture, and his influence extends well beyond the realm of film. Not only is Antonio's legacy proof of his success, but it also serves as a constant reminder that anybody can achieve their wildest ambitions if they put their minds to it and work hard enough. These days, Antonio Banderas is famous for being both an international cultural star and a man who lives a lavish yet purposeful life. His considerable real estate holdings, acting gigs, and business endeavors have contributed to his $60 million net worth. Antonio is the proud owner of several prestigious properties all around the globe. While he was married to Melanie Griffith, he spent $5 million on a 300-square-foot Aspen, Colorado, home with breathtaking mountain vistas, outdoor fires, and a hot tub. They divorced and sold the property for $4 million. In addition to his penthouse in Malaga, Spain, which he now occupies, a tastefully built base for his long-term life, he has a contemporary property in Surrey, England. In addition to his stunning coastal mansion in Los Monteros, Marbella, which he sold to the CEO of Netflix for $16.1 million, Antonio also has a villa in Los Angeles. Antonio's passion for speed and elegance is evident in his collection of cars. Among the many vehicles on display are everyday drivers like the Audi Q8 and Ford Mondeo, as well as legendary supercars like the $570,000 Ford GT, a rare antique Mercedes-Benz 300 SL worth over $1 million, and the $240,000 Bentley Continental GTC. Furthermore, he relishes in extravagant getaways on board superyachts. Antonio and his fiancée Nicole Kimple have been a steadying presence in his life since his heart attack in 2017, and they frequently go on vacation together on boats like Angels and Demons, which rent for $24,000 a week, and the five-star superyacht Lady E, which can cost up to $556,000 a week. The Bulgari Octo costs $15,000, and the Mont Blanc Time Walker costs $3,500. Antonio is an expert collector of high-end timepieces. His investment in private jets, a $2 million Bombardier Learjet 60 and a $4.5 million Gulfstream G200, allows him to keep up with his hectic travel schedule. Antonio is a prosperous entrepreneur on top of all his other accomplishments. He is the brains behind the Antonio Banderas fragrance line, the Antonio Banderas design fashion label, many Spanish restaurant chains, and Malaga's Teatro del Soho, a community-driven initiative where he mentors and educates aspiring performers. First and foremost, Antonio keeps his life in check by giving back to the community and taking care of his health. He began prioritizing yoga, healthy diet, and community service after suffering a heart attack in 2017. For Antonio, it's about more than simply making money. It's about making a positive impact and pursuing his artistic dreams. A multi-talented artist who never stops pushing himself to new heights, Antonio Banderas is an inspiration to fans all across the globe. Antonio Banderas has gone a long way from being a little boy in Malaga who wanted to be a football hero to being a Hollywood superstar. He is remembered for his unforgettable performances and the unwavering commitment he has shown to his work and his family. His story is an inspiring example of how tenacity, not natural ability, is the foundation of success. Tell me which aspect of Antonio's tale hit home the hardest. Was it his unfaltering will to overcome health obstacles, or his strong feeling of duty to his loved ones and the people around him? Feel free to join the debate and share your ideas in the comments section. For more incredible tales straight out of Hollywood, subscribe to our channel. Until our next video, take care.